Pepsi versus Coke, the Union and the Confederacy, and yes, Sony and fucking Microsoft. Oh sure, you can fire people for not getting the goddamn jab, lock them indoors, burn down their cities, steal their votes, and even laugh at their fucking faces about doing so, but put your dainty little digits anywhere near our plastic brick of choice, and it's on like Donkey Kong, provided you buy the right plastic brick, of course. How overblown is the reflexive fanboy acrimony over video game consoles, you inquire? Put it this way, I started out in political radio all the way back in 2003, transitioned to a YouTube show about action movies and the Vidya, and ultimately began discussing current events there as well over 2 separate contentious election cycles. And I can tell you unequivocally and unreservedly, the most violent, white-hot, melt-your-fucking facial hair hatred I get from the public is invariably video game related. Matters of mortal consequence, immigration, abortion, whether or not to send an entire generation of young men to be ground to a fine pink powder for the money laundering leeches in the Ukraine. More crickets than an Amy Schumer audience. Some impassioned debate for fucking sure, but dare to suggest Elden Ring isn't the culmination of all human creativity, you'll be dodging bullets by the end of your first fucking sentence. Tell me I'm lying, bitch. It's sort of like how everyone in their P-pop is paying attention to whether Amber Heard has corn kernels in her turds, then they are even remotely concerned by the fact that Ghislaine Maxwell's sentence was just reduced, or by the fact that according to the court system, one woman was apparently culpable for an entire transcontinental kitty fucking network without a solitary one of her thousands of elite gazillionaire clientele even being called in for questioning. Let's just say where priorities are concerned, the public has more issues than Playboy. And so the console wars subsist solely on the clannish collectivism of a loyal legion of unwaveringly allegiant troglodytes, a phenomenon that's long since transitioned from the cute and clever competitive marketing of Sega and Nintendo to a sad 30-something civil war with the intensity of the Rodney King riots and the unbridled societal stakes of a fucking Toyota-thon. The latest salvo in the micro-Sony siege? The Xbox Series X and S has apparently outsold the PlayStation 5 in a single fucking week in fucking Japan. Don't bust a gut at that, bitch. You and I both know there are people, or at least what science loosely classifies as people, right now, as I record this rant, furiously debating the meaning and merit of this development as if America's monetary system hinges entirely on the ready availability of fucking Mario hats. The true causes of this reversal, I think, are somewhat more multifaceted. Yes, Sony is censoring the shit out of Japanese releases in particular. Yes, they've relocated to California with the commie politics to match. Yes, their game library is emptier than the stage at a Ramones reunion. And all these, in addition to the PS5 being the size of a fucking suitcase, doubtless made the slimmer Xbox Series S somewhat more appealing in Japan, at least this week. A country where space is at such a premium, I'd remind you, you can literally sublet a sardine can. Sony fans aren't just getting fucked these days, they aren't even getting fucked in the ass. They're getting savaged in the cornhole with a money-cocked veinier than Janice Dickinson's neck, made all the more motherfucking hilarious by the fact that both abroad and in America, Sony and Microsoft are fighting tooth and dentures over a distant second place in the market, as Nintendo has been a dominant fucking first since the introduction of the Switch and have been printing rolling mountains of money all the while. I mean, am I the only one wondering how you even have a console war without any fucking consoles? I've never even seen a PS5 in person, and the only systems I've seen stocked over the past 2 years were the Switch and the Series X, and neither with anything approaching regularity. I'd have a better shot of finding a designated driver at Oktoberfest than buying a console in the console section at Kmart. Or for that matter, finding a fucking Kmart. There have been more confirmed sightings of Chupacabra than PS5 and Series X. More to the point, isn't comparing sales figures for consoles no one can fucking buy a bit like counting the deck chairs on the Titanic? At this point, all sales figures are really measuring is who can shit product out incrementally quicker than the other guy. And frankly, both companies are in dire need of Dulcolax. Between supply problems, the Kung Flu, and more chip shortages than Lena Dunham's pantry, rolling out a new console in 2022 is like trying to sell a space heater on the sun, which makes the slavering drones stumping for either company all the more weapons-grade cringe. When you really distill this conflict to its essence, What we're watching is two starving mice, far beneath the dinner table, shrieking, "My table scraps are far more filling than your table scraps," while the Nintendo and PC master race gorge themselves on a 5-course fucking buffet up top. But my issue with the fucking fanboy wars isn't that it's more cringe than a fleet of fucking furry conventions, although it is. It's not even that it's merely annoying. What I resent is the underlying implication that Sony, Microsoft, and even Nintendo don't even have to earn your loyalty by actually performing a feat. They simply have it by fucking default. Even if you utterly adore the PlayStation or the Xbox, you must wrap your actively malfunctioning brain around the fact that the worst thing you can do for anyone, be it a company, companion, or fucking family member, is to hold them to no standard whatsoever. For at that point, you have formally transitioned from foot soldier in a fucking pointless console war to an enabler of Jim Sterlingian proportions. But I don't want to bash on old Sterling too hard. From what I understand, he's one of the richest men on YouTube. At least if you go by square inch. I'm Razor Fist. God fucking speed.